But let's move on to the main event. As you
Right.
see on the ticker below, we got it says women's strawweight matchup, but it's going to be held at flyweight because of the late move to the main event. And we got Marina Rodriguez, who is 13-1-2 and is the minus 215 favorite, going up against Michelle Waterson, who is 18-8 and is the plus 165 underdog. What do you think of this main event?
Well, first, I'm curious to see if Rodriguez or Waterson feel great at 125. Are they going to stay there and challenge Valentina? But that's besides the point. In my mind, this is a great matchup between two title contenders at strawweight. You have Waterson coming in off of a big win over Angela Hill in September, and she's going up against Mariana Rodriguez, who is coming off a win versus Amanda Ribas. I can see why this fight is the main event. Both of these fighters are electric and are naturally strikers. Waterson obviously has the karate background and uses an array of kicks to keep her opponent guessing and to keep her at bay. But she has had issues going up against fighters who push the pace and have a height and reach advantage. Enter Mariana Rodriguez, who has a 3-inch height advantage, 3-inch reach advantage, and is a fighter who bites down on their mouthpiece and moves forward, having almost half of her wins by knockout. I think in the UFC she has 6. I see Waterson attempting to take this fight to the ground, as she has most of her wins via submission, while I see Rodriguez keeping the fight standing and looking for the early knockout like she did against Amanda Ribas. I don't see this fight going to distance, and I'm going to take Rodriguez by second round knockout. I love Michelle Waterson. I'm super entertained every time she fights. But if Mariana wins this fight, I'm curious to see where you put this. But I'd like to see her either get a rematch versus Carla Esparza, who's ranked ahead of her, or go up against somebody like Joanna, who is like number 3 in the division. I think if she wins this, she'll stay at 6. However, I think Joanna is either going to fight Carla at 5 or Mackenzie Dern, because Mackenzie Dern's been kind of moving up the bracket. So what do you think?
When I saw this fight booked, it reminds me of one of the first fights that got me into the UFC on a regular scale, like weekly type thing. Not like the Chuck Liddell Tito T's, but like on the regular. And it was It was UFC 100. It was Shogun Rua versus Lyoto Machida.
Okay.
These two fighters remind me of the women version of them, whereas Michelle Waterson's like Lyoto Machida with the countering karate background. They wait for you, then they use the karate to their advantage. And then you got Marina Rodriguez, who is more of the power striker, kind of like Shogun Rua is, who's going to push the pace forward. Reminds me just like Shogun Rua. So when I first saw this, I was like, this reminds me of this matchup. This is the type of style I love, because those two men had 2 big-time matchups in the UFC at that time, and it was for the title when Machida was the champion, and then eventually Shogun wound up taking it. And it's going to be similar style. You're going to have Michelle Waterson, who, like you said, she does have that takedown, but I feel like she's going to let Marina Rodriguez control the pace, and she's going to just sit back and see if she can make a mistake and then capitalize it. She's going to use her legs, use her striking, and then just bob and weave. And then if she has an opening, she'll take it. But I don't think there'll be much openings for her to go up against with Marina Rodriguez.
Yeah.
As you saw in the Ribas fight, she was very patient. She actually was. Her way of letting Ribas make a mistake is just standing there and seeing what was happening and seeing what Ribas was doing. She was surveying the scene and letting her make mistakes. As you see in this matchup, the same, basically the same age, same weight. The height goes to Marina by just like 0.3 inches. But then she has the 3-inch reach advantage. She fights out Brazil Floripa and the AS team, and then Waterson fights out of Jackson Wink MMA. As you know, everybody that fights there, of course, big time John Jones. And then before that, you had Rashad Evans. Before Rashad Evans wound up moving down to Florida to
Holly
Fox.
Holm.
and then Holly Holm. So if you take those styles and where it's like the kickboxing mixed like karate, and then you mix in sprinkle a little bit of the grappling in there. You got a good fighter there, but I feel like with Marina Rodriguez, it's that power shot that's going to be the game changer in this matchup.
Yeah.
Like getting that shot off and then stunning Michelle Waterson, because I feel like if she could get that done early, it's going to benefit Rodriguez, just like in the Ribas fight. Ribas got ahead early because she was doing her game, but then once she got clipped that one time, it got her so off her game plan because she was so out of it from getting hit hard, because Rodriguez, it hits like a cinder block.
Yeah.
And then it got her off her game. And I feel like that's what's going to happen in this matchup. I don't think it's going to go to decision. I don't think it's going to be in the clinch that much. So it's like, you take all that into consideration. It's like, what's the path to victory then for Waterson? How is she going to do it? Is it going to be by submission if she's able to avoid a shot and then get behind Rodriguez and then they get in a choke? Or is Rodriguez going to fall down and then Waterson's going to connect on a leg kick and stun her and then get her down on the ground to eventually ground and pound her? How is she going to do it? All signs point to the more pluses for Marina Rodriguez to win in this matchup because of her power shot, the equalizer. She connects once, she's got her. I think she'll connect once in the first round. She'll stun Waterson, but then I think Waterson will wind up going on the ground, buying time, get into the second round, and then I feel like with that, I feel like Marina Rodriguez is going to wind up winning by ground and pound in round two. I feel like she's going to catch her again, kind of like what she did with Ribas, and she's going to stand on top of her and just start wearing at her until the ref stops the fight, and then gives her the second round knockout.
Yeah, I mean that equalizer is huge, right? Like I said, man, I think Waterson's game plan and path to victory is through the ground. Get her down if you can and keep her down. I'm curious to see what happens after this fight. If Mariana looks great at 125, there's going to be talks about her contending for a shot against Valentina, since Valentina's kind of cleared out that entire division. If Waterson loses this fight, the fight to make, honestly, is her and Ribas. I mean, that's been a fight that people have been wanting. That's a fight that Amanda Ribas has been asking for, and Michelle's been allegedly declining, I guess, because of rankings. So I think that would be the fight to make if Ribas wins and Waterson loses.
No, I agree with that. Like, it'll be another thing where you got two matchups from these four women that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see like where Marina goes from here if she gets the victory, right? Like we think she does. Like you said, she could contend for a Valentina, but then she could move up and get a better ranked spot here in the strawweight division.
Yeah, but I think she would have a better chance at staying at flyweight, because we know the fight to make in strawweight is Rose Wei-Lee. Like, that's the rematch. Dana White's already said it. So she's going to have to stay active and it all goes back to when I talk about JoJo Calderwood, right? JoJo Calderwood went up against Jennifer Maia when she was the #1 contender for that belt against Valentina. Lost her spot, and now she hasn't challenged for a belt, right? If Mariana stays this course, stays at 115, she's got to go up against Mackenzie Dern, Carla Esparza, Joanna. She's got to go up against Murderer's Row. So she's got to go up against these women when she could just kind of ride this momentum and say, well, Valentina is going to be a little more active than Rose. Valentina needs she's going to fight sooner than Rose's second fight. Yeah. So maybe just win this fight, win dominantly, do something impressive, and then wait until the fall when Valentina is ready, and there's your fight to make.
The only thing with that is this is going to be her first time fighting at a flyweight. So you got to see how she does, because she's primarily fought at strawweight. So it's a different weight class, different types of fighters there.
Yeah, but we saw it with Andrade, the last fight. That was her. She fought once before that at flyweight. That was against Jagay.
Yeah, but she's always floated around both those, though. Like even before she got into UFC, she was floating around this. Whereas Marina has done primarily strawweight. Like I think that would be a good move for her. It just I have to see how she does with this fight, and then I still think she wouldn't be guaranteed that title fight right away. I think she would have to do one more fight anyway. That's why I think no matter where she goes, she's going to be in that 5 spot more than likely in either division with a win, and then she'd still have to fight one more time to get up to that title shot because just jumping divisions.
Yeah, maybe she takes the winner against the Chikagian fight at 263.
Yeah, that would sound right. But I wouldn't be opposed to her staying at flyweight. That would be interesting. She'd probably get her ass kicked against Shevchenko if she got the title shot, and because all signs are leaning towards Shevchenko Nunez 3 right now. They're already talking about it, and then they asked